afternoon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. John Kelly, Profiler here, and welcome. Welcome to another Viewer's Choice video. You guys emailed us on it, you commented on these cases, and today we're going to analyze this report and try to come up with some answers for you or some insights for you. I don't know how fresh they're going to be, but we're going to try our best for you. And hopefully we can try and put our heads together and help law enforcement catch this killer and scumbag predator. Today we're talking about Elizabeth Collins and Lyric Cook. They were abducted at Evansdale Park in Iowa in 2012. You know, very, very sad situation, and we want to send our condolences and deepest sympathies out to their families and friends. This is a case that's solvable, and I'm sure will be solved by law enforcement down the line. You know, when you look at Elizabeth and you look at Lyric, we're looking at their bikes were found at Myers Lake, along with one of their purses and cell phones. So what that tells me is this predator was sophisticated and organized. He didn't want anything in the car with him when he grabbed these two girls. He didn't want a purse being in the car that could be evidence, and he certainly didn't want a cell phone that law enforcement could track him with. So he grabs the two girls, talks them into the car, and he leaves the cell phone and purse there. He makes sure the person's cell phone stays there. He probably used a ruse, like, hey, can you help me find my dog? Or did you see my dog come by here? I can't find him. Will you help me look for him? Or help me look for my cat? Or even my son. Did you see my little boy? He came through here and I don't know what happened to him. And they say, no, we didn't see him. Oh, can you help me find him? See, that's his ruse to get them into his car. And his car is his control zone. That's where he wants them. Once he has them in the car, then he can get them off to a location, a second location, that he feels very safe and familiar with, and he's going to kill them when he gets them there. With this scumbag predator, and he is a scumbag, we can see a lot of sophistication and organization. I mean, he understood how to work on the sympathies of these young girls, at least that's what I believe, to get them into his car, into his control zone. Then he's so organized that he makes darn sure that there's very little evidence being brought into the car, especially anything that can track him, like the purse and the cell phone. Next thing you know, he's off and he's running with them. He takes them off to a place that he's already prepared, he's already figured out a place where he feels safe, and at that point in time he probably kills them. He then turns around and he takes them to Seven Bridges, which is another natural park reserve or some kind of natural wildlife reserve, about 20 miles away, and he dumps their bodies. Maybe he killed them there too, and then just dumped their bodies. I don't know. But these girls were taken 20 miles away. Now, because I believe he's sophisticated, I do not believe he killed them at Evansdale Park and then transported two little dead girls all the way to Seven Bridges. I don't believe that. I believe he got them in the car, somehow secured them in the car, then took them off wherever he was taking them to kill them, and then he killed them at a different location, and then went to Seven Bridges, an area that he felt very comfortable with, very safe. He felt very safe there, and there he dumped their bodies. Because you've got to understand that when he has two little dead girls in the car and he's transporting their bodies, that's when he's most vulnerable. So he's got to be sure, pretty sure in his mind's eye, of where he's taking these girls and where he's going to dump them. He's got to believe it's safe, He probably did it under the cover of night, which leads me to believe this man was very familiar with the site where he dumped their bodies. So we have a man that's familiar with Seven Bridges area. We have a man that's obviously familiar with Evansdale Park. So we have a man, a scumbag predator, that hunts in various locations where kids congregate. This guy doesn't go to malls where we have the witnesses, and I'm including cameras there, because cameras are great witnesses. The camera, doesn't miss a trick if it has your picture. So what he's doing is he's working parks and out of the way recreational areas where there aren't any cameras. And then if there aren't any physical eyewitnesses around, game on for him. That's what he's doing. Now, the other thing you have to understand is that when you look at this report and you focus on, the terrible shame that has transpired here, and it is nothing but a very sad situation, that this guy probably has priors, probably has been identified, probably has been in the system for some kind of child abuse, and he's made up his mind that he's not going to leave any more witnesses. Because probably, if he has been convicted, which I believe he does have a prior, he is a sex offender, somebody probably had to inform on him and become a witness against him. So he figured out real quick, if I'm going to do this, that I'm not going to leave any witnesses. When I act out, I can't have somebody left alive. I've got to kill them. And it's a shame that we have these kind of people roaming the United States. As technology evolves, what I want you to understand is so do these predators. You're going to see more and more of these guys operating in rural areas. They want to be away from the witnesses, the people, and the cameras. And there's cameras all over the place. And they know that. They're very, very familiar with that. So what they want to do is they want to stay away from the cameras. They want to focus on rural areas where there's no cameras and try and stay away from people who can become eyewitnesses. And I think this is very important because as killers continue to evolve, and we're going to see more and more of it, like I said, they continue to get much better at their craft. They start to get to the point where they try to perfect it, and they just keep getting better and better after every victim they abduct and kill. So what I'd like to say today, and like to bring out to you guys, any of you guys that are out there and like to work out, and I'm speaking now more directly to women. If you're out there and you like working out, you like jogging on nature paths or walking on trails, or even jogging down rural roads, please keep in mind that you're probably running or walking, and if you're not with another person, you're pretty vulnerable. And especially if you have earbuds in, because somebody can be coming up on you and you wouldn't even know it. And that's where it seems these guys are migrating these days. They're focusing on the areas, again, where there's no cameras. And in a lot of rural areas, like roads, paths, and trails, there aren't any cameras. So it's something you have to be aware of. You have to always be on your toes and be safe, because we're going to see more and more and more of these sexual predators. I don't know if there's any connection with this case in Iowa and Libby German and Abby Williams' case in Delphi. I really don't know, in Delphi, Indiana, if there is any kind of connection. But we'd like to hear from you if you think there's a connection. I see a lot of sophistication with the murders in Evansdale. I mean, the girls that were abducted in Evansdale and probably murdered elsewhere. I see a lot of sophistication with, Elizabeth Collins and Lyric Cook. I'm not sure I see that kind of sophistication with Abby and Libby. Don't forget, we have transportation taking place in Evansdale, Iowa. In Delphi, Indiana, we don't have transportation. We have down the hill. And we have to believe, even if that guy was a transient guy or whatever, that he had some familiarity with that area, because he had to know what was down the hill before he would go down there with Libby and Abby. So anyway, please stay on your toes. Please be safe. And thank you so much for all your subscriptions, for all your feedback, for all your comments. And stay safe out there and make it a great day. Thank you.